It has a lot of in-depth, but there's a lot of thing that goes in the background for a performer.
One of the features in there that I'm super proud of is a radio map, which basically shows every single city that you've ever been played on radio in.
What made you pick We at the first place?
How professionally that process was undertaken really gave me a lot of faith in, choosing V.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Borders with Virtual Employee, the podcast where we explore how businesses are scaling globally, breaking barriers of the geography, and unlocking the power of offshore teams. And today, we have with us Mr. Karan Das Gupta, the founder and CEO of UpNComer, based out in Vancouver, Canada. Karan has a very interesting journey from his academic days at the University of British Columbia and to his founding his own creative venture, Dreams and Delusion, and now scaling UpNComer. Karan has been a very valued client to Virtual Employee, a company that redefines outsourcing and helps businesses in finding and hiring their own dedicated remote staff from India. Karan, we are really happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So, as we begin with this podcast, we just wanted to learn about your early days. How has been your journey from studying at the university and then stepping on to the first step of entrepreneurship? Have you always wanted to build companies?
Yeah, I'd say I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and it was really stemming from the fact that I'm really passionate about problems I want to solve, and any business that I've tried to create has always been based on problems that I'm trying to solve. With Dreams and Delusions, which is like a music label that's still active and supporting artists around the world, I was able to see the problems that artists like myself face on a day-to-day, and what are some of the processes we can use to basically make their lives easier. And it's a journey that's already pretty hard, lonely, and often cannot really be successful without major backing. So I was like, how can we scale the processes that we are using at Dreams and Delusions into a platform that can impact artists around the world, and artists can really be in control of their journeys and be empowered?
Okay, interesting. Very well. So you've lived in Vancouver and founded the company in Vancouver. So how has been the journey and the business impacted based out in Vancouver?
Just a little background about myself. I was actually born in London, and I then spent a few years living in Mumbai before me and my family moved to Singapore, which is where I grew up. And I moved to Vancouver to study at the University of British Columbia. And during that process, like while I was finishing up school in Singapore, I'd already started my journey as a musician, and I already knew that I wanted to scale that journey up and take it as far as it could go. So all through the university, I was still a very active musician, was performing, releasing a lot of music, and then coming towards the tail end of my university career, I was thinking to myself as to what can we do to basically put all these problems and frustrations that artists have on a day-to-day and solve them in one place. And that's what brought me to UpNComer.
Okay, very, very vast and very interesting background from London to Mumbai, then Singapore, Canada. Lovely, and you have a very creative blend. And I'm very sure that this helps in the business also, because you just mentioned about your first venture, Dreams and Delusion. So how has this helped in the entrepreneur journey?
Well, I'd say, being an entrepreneur is a lot of learning. And with that comes making mistakes, learning from those mistakes. I think running Dreams and Delusions made me first off understand how a business works, more specifically how the music business works, and what's the more financial side of that. As someone who's like a native artist, like you don't spend a lot of time thinking about that side of things, although, I am like a bachelor in economics and commerce, so these are things I had to learn in school as well. But I'd say like through D&D, I was really able to basically hammer in what the business processes are that make up an artist's journey. And so when you understand that, then you can hyper-focus that into modules that actually help solve problems.
Okay. So it has been a journey for you, I guess, for how many years by now?
Well, I'd say it's been like over a 7-year journey at this point. Yeah.
Nice, nice, very nice. So you're talking about from actually where you started forming Dreams and Delusion and to now to UpNComer. It's been 7 years.
Yeah, it's been
Okay.
a pretty long time.
Okay, and it seems at a very young age you have accomplished this.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a compliment. It's a compliment that at a very young age you have accomplished all of this. So, yeah. So, talking about UpNComer, what was the idea behind building this company, and what are the exact solutions that you're looking and finding onto?
okay, so, well, the idea was that, well, artists are too strung out. They don't have enough time in their day to manage all these different aspects of their careers. All you constantly hear about in like music circles is like, oh, I can't be also making content. I can't also be managing the financial side of things. I can't also be running campaigns to promote my music. It's a lot of different things to do. So the idea was, okay, I've been signed to a label for many years in Believe Music, and through that, I was able to learn, okay, what are the main roles that an artist needs in their team, right? And if you were like a major artist, like, like a Taylor Swift, who are all the people that are basically heading up departments in their team? And I was like, okay, let's now break that down further into modules, especially with the advent of AI. Like this is actually possible now, and modules that can basically replicate these roles. So we have a marketing manager, we have a data analyst, we have an artist manager that covers everything from campaigns to finances, and we also have like our own like proprietary AI model that is basically learning from the artist's own data points as well. So every single thing that an artist sees on our platform is auto-populated because we are pulling their data. They don't ever have to manually input these things for us. And in the process, like, we're also able to educate artists about things that they would never have even known about themselves.
Oh, okay, okay. So that means it has a lot of in-depth. It's not just something that we see them performing on stage, but there's a lot of thing that goes in the background for a performer to be on the top 10 list. I'm assuming for them to be on the top ranking artist. And there's a lot of things that you guys manage in the background for them. Okay, wonderful. So has your creative entrepreneurship, starting with Dreams and Delusion, helped in building up UpNComer?
Yeah, for sure. And I'd say Dreams and Delusions is one side of the learning that went into UpNComer, and the other side is actually just my journey as an artist. And I've been running my personal journey as an artist, as a business, for many, many years now. And through that, I was basically able to see, okay, if we do like a few things on a day-to-day, we are actually able to move needles for ourselves, right? Like, and to like, get into like throw an example out, for example, is like we have a module in UpNComer that's basically the data analyst module. Now, what the data analyst module can do for you is take all your data on every single platform you exist on. So whether that's Spotify or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, and put it in one place. So, and it's also split up based on the kind of data we want to show you. Like, for example, like one of the features in there that I'm super proud of is a radio map, which basically shows every single city that you've ever been played on radio in, how many times you've been played on radio there, what song has been played on radio there, what station you've been played on. And like, that's one of the things I'm really, really proud of. I'm really, really proud of my development team, courtesy of VE, who did a great job putting that together.
Nice, nice. That's very interesting because I've never heard of such thing before. I do know, and I have a very slight knowledge about different providers providing different thing for the artist, but this is something really new. Very getting into the nitty-gritties for the artist and making their life simpler. Okay, great, great. Right. So, Karan, coming to talk about the virtual employees experience. You have worked with us for quite some time now. So what made you pick we at the first place?
I'd say a few things. I mean, one, the fact that V had setups in multiple countries. That was like a stamp of approval. Another thing was the fact that it was running for almost like 17 years or 18 years.
Yeah.
I'd say that was another big stamp of approval, just on like the surface level. Now, when it came to taking that leap of faith, being like, okay, I'm gonna engage in like this contractual obligation with VE. Even though I have never met these people, and I'm sitting in a country so far away, was this onboarding process was very smooth, very professional. I mean, even just the way the sales team approached me, it was not like, okay, now we have this lead. Now we're gonna be like chasing after this person every single day till they give in. It was like, okay, I told them, I'm busy right now. I'll give you a call in a couple days. That was okay. And the process between like me first being introduced to VE, conducting interviews was just about 7 days, and the process between me conducting the interviews and me starting work was also only about another few days right after that. So I think just how professionally that process was undertaken really gave me a lot of faith in choosing VE.
Okay, interesting to know that. And so what stands out for you in VE's business model?
I'd say now, having actually been here and being sitting in this office right now, I mean, I understand that the amount of depth that exists within VE and the setup that VE has is pretty impressive. Say for example, like as a musician, I need people who can edit videos, make cover arts, things like that. If I wanted to engage VE on that, they would have the people, the right folks with the expertise and the portfolio to do that, and to my specifications. I'm currently working with 2 developers that are helping me build UpNComer, and they both also have completely separate skill sets from each other, right? Like one's more like AI and front end focused, and one is more on the back end and service side. So just the sheer depth that exists within the setup at VE is really, really impressive to me. I mean, even just the fact that right now we're sitting in this podcast studio, which is in your multi-story office building. It's not in just some small room. Like, it's very, very impressive.
So what advice you would like to give to the entrepreneurs who are looking to outsource their business and who are a little hesitant of outsourcing, and they may have some fears due to quality, communication, or other factors?
I would say, if you're looking to first off, I think you should be looking to outsource your business. I mean, the world that we're living in today is not as local as it used to be. Like, I think our workplaces should also be global. I think the way we approach our work should also be global. I think in terms of trying to fight the hesitation, I'd say look for a company like VE that has robust processes, because robust processes like a robust sales cycle, a robust onboarding cycle, interview cycle, things like that also come from people that are trustworthy and have attention to detail. And if those are the people that are working at a firm that you're planning on working with, you can kind of take that leap of faith, even if it's the first time you're ever working with an outsourcing company.
Okay, so it seems your onboarding journey with Virtual Employee has been pretty enough. So can you just describe about how it has been with us? So
if I just kind of look at the cycle from day one, so when I first found VE, I mean, I was randomly just sitting in my living room looking for opportunities outside of just local hires, because I wasn't having a lot of luck with the skill sets that I needed. And it was the day that I found VE was the same day, like within minutes of me being on their website, I had someone that was already speaking to me. I think within the first 24 to 48 hours, I already had a more detailed sales call with, I think his name was Ashish, and he basically ran me through, okay, here are some of the options in terms of like what we can offer you. And then I think just a couple days after that, I was already speaking to Amit, who was the tech team lead, and gave him the requirements that I had, and he was like, okay, I'm going to put a few resumes together, and like all within a week, I was already interviewing people that had the exact skill set that I was looking for, which was really, really good. It was a very, very good place to be. And I think from that point on, like the onboarding of Rahul was extremely smooth. We were working together a few days in, and a year later we're still working together. So it's great.
All right, that's great. That's
Thank you
wonderful.
so much for having me.
Thank you.